Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm a registered nurse from the UK and me and my family moved to New Zealand.
Lucy, we've just taken some shots of your beautiful family and I want to know what would bring a beautiful young family from the UK to New Zealand?
We'd actually planned it for about 10 years and as you know in England in 2020 we spent most of the year in lockdown and it actually made us start the process, and before we knew it we came here. So we just wanted to chase the life of getting away from the 9-to-5s, the rat race, just come and enjoy a more peaceful life closer to the ocean and just slow down a little bit.
Sounds like you had a clear vision as to why you'd come to beautiful New Zealand.
Yes, definitely.
There was a specific reason why you came to New Zealand. Do you want to explain that, please?
Yeah, so I'm a registered nurse. I came over on a visa that was actually the only visa at the time that was allowing people into the country, so we were quite lucky. We came over on a critical purpose visa, so it was only kind of health professionals that were allowed in at that point, and that's why the process was really quick as well. So it was only because I'm a nurse that we got here.
That's awesome. What particular area of healthcare are you working in?
And the aged care sector.
We know that in New Zealand the aged care sector is just like the rest of the health sector and medical sector in New Zealand is under huge pressure. Was that pressure evident to you when you got here? I mean, did you feel like you were needed and you needed to be here to help out?
Massively, absolutely massively. I actually was quite naive coming here. I didn't realise just how desperate New Zealand is for nurses, so no wonder I got offered a job really quickly. It was a big eye-opener, yeah, definitely.
But something happened, something changed.
Yeah, so I was just settling in nicely to my job, been there a few months, really valued member of staff, and then the mandates came in for the vaccine.
How was that presented to you?
To be honest, we just kind of heard about it on the news at first, and then an email got sent round just saying everyone needs to get the vaccines. And it was kind of brushed under the carpet because everyone knew how busy and stretched we were. In the beginning, I'll be honest, it was a feeling of, oh, we might just get away with it because, and they need me type thing. So I just kept low and see how it played out at first.
But it didn't just pass away, did it? What happened next?
No, I was getting chased every day. Have you had your vaccine yet? Have you had your vaccine yet? And I just kept saying no, no, no. And then they came and they said, we need to know today. And I said, I just had to weigh up all my opinions and information, and I said no. And then I got handed a letter which basically said, if you are not vaccinated on the 15th of November, then you must not step foot on the premises as you are putting the residents in danger.
Now, an obvious question from all of us is, what took you to that place where you felt you had to decline the invitation to get a COVID-19 jab?
Coming from the UK and spent a lot of the beginning of the COVID days in the UK, working throughout it in the community. I'd had COVID already and I was absolutely fine. I'd seen many people in England have it, including a rest home where I used to work with 40 odd residents. They all had it, everyone survived, all in the 90s. It just didn't add up for me to get vaccinated, and I was not comfortable having an unlicensed medication into my body for no reason.
Had you heard anything that concerned you about the jab? Was there any sort of data that you were coming across or any observations that maybe thought, well, look, I don't think I'm going to take it right now because I want to see how this plays out a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, just the survival rate for COVID was minuscule, and yet the data for the vaccine is so brand new. I just couldn't base any actual logic on that kind of data for me. Plus, I'd already had it.
Plus you'd already had it,
Yeah.
right. And so were your bosses aware that you'd had it?
Yeah.
Right, so the natural immunity thing didn't mean a thing, right. And you kind of reached this impasse. How did they tell you then that your job was gone?
The majority were quite supportive. They were trying to come up with ways to make me stay. So I went to them with a job offer and said, I can work from home. I was a wound specialist nurse. And I said I could maybe monitor the wounds online, looking at photos, doing care plans and things like that. To be fair, that was going ahead. And I was waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks after that. And I thought, oh yes, I've been saved, everything's okay. The process took that long. It wasn't until after Christmas that it all went quiet, and I was hearing a few whispers like, oh, have you heard yet? And I was like, no, not heard anything yet. And then I got a phone call and they'd gone to the CEO of the company and he just says, no, I do not want anyone unvaccinated working for this brand, regardless of whether they're working from home or not.
Wow, so this CEO of this aged healthcare facility, was he a medical person? Was he a doctor?
No, it's
Right.
just an owner.
Just a businessman. Right, okay, I get it. What were the consequences to you immediately?
Huge. It was awful. It was one of the most stressful things that has ever happened in our family. Because I came over on my visa as a nurse, not being a nurse anymore meant no visa. So it was a lot to kind of process. We were literally at the point, okay, shall I just go get the jab? And I just listened to my soul. I said, I cannot do that. I know I've had COVID, I've survived COVID. I don't know what would happen if I had that vaccine, and I couldn't do that for my children. And I just had to.
For your babies.
Even if we had to fly back home, to me, I could get around to doing that, but I couldn't physically sit in that chair and get that injection.
I admire your courage and your strength. Back then we had the New Zealand government telling everybody that the Pfizer vaccine was 100% safe, that there was absolutely zero reason for anyone to have vaccine hesitancy in New Zealand. There was, it's a proven thing. The evidence is clear. You're going to take this jab, it's 100% safe, it's going to stop you from getting sick with it, catching it, stop you from passing it on. And you're in a situation where the jab is offered to you, you've got concerns, you say thanks but no thanks. Mm-hmm. Now let's fast forward from there to where we are now. The New Zealand Adverse Events Reporting System, the CALM report, which is at medsafe.govt.nz/COVID-19 safety report, you see the incredible figures that are there. Now, the government has admitted that it's only capturing about 5% of the reality, right?
Yeah.
The latest report says there's 64,000 harmed New Zealanders. 3,500 of those are very, very sick. Out of that number, we have about 1,000 people with myocarditis, pericarditis, heart attacks, strokes, blood clots, 177 deaths of adults and children, 66 babies that have died in the wombs of their mother. When you see that information today, how does it make you feel about your decision? Was it the right decision or was it the wrong decision now that this is all out in the open?
Yeah, definitely made the right decision, 100%.
Right, so quickly followed with that question is, how do you feel about a government that's still pushing the same narrative? They haven't altered it much at all. They're still saying, go and get your jab, go and get your booster, you got to get it done.
It's just outrageous, absolutely outrageous. Some of the ways they advertise it, it's almost like they're laughing at people, like with the KFC vouchers, and it's just.
I know.
Just making a mockery of people.
I hear you loud and clear. One of the things that concerns me is that they're offering McDonald's and KFC vouchers to the Māori and Pacific Island community who've got the highest level of obesity, diabetes, heart problems and that, and then they say, look, we're going to give you all these vouchers for that food that's killing you, and by the way, come get the jab. How important is it that the media and the government, if they didn't do anything else, just reported the information in the CALM report? Do you feel that would contribute to people actually having informed consent?
Yeah.
And is not having that reporting available to people, because a lot of people don't even know what the CALM report is. Do you feel that is almost negligence on their part?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, part of the nursing code is to make sure people make informed choices. So if they're not getting access to all the information, then people aren't consenting to an informed choice. People can't really consent to the vaccine because they're not being shown the whole information.
One of the heartbreaking things for me is the 66 spontaneous miscarriages soon after the mother has received the jab. And the government said to the media, just report the CALM report. Just maybe would one of those mothers that lost their babies had seen that and thought, well, I don't think so.
Yeah, because they could have then had more facts to base their decision on.
The media has played a huge role in New Zealand, a massive role, in fact, all around the world around this issue, propagating the almost religious doctrine of the government around COVID-19. Doesn't matter about the facts, doesn't matter about the science, they just spit out what they're told to spit out. They're paid millions of dollars. In New Zealand, we've got a $59 million public interest journalism fund, which is designed to fund newspapers and media channels to combat misinformation. So, our conversation today in their paradigm is misinformation. Yeah. So they've flipped it around, haven't they?
Yeah.
Do you feel that there might be a potential that it's been weaponised in a way that's against public interest around health and personal health freedoms?
Yeah, definitely. I think there was a lot of a guilt angle. Get vaccinated to protect your whānau or protect your community. So it was making people feel guilty that if they didn't get vaccinated, then they were going to affect everyone else, which we know is not true.
Absolutely, because earlier this year there was an article that said that this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Well, I've got another article, which is a more recent article, where it says, no, most of the people in hospitals that are sick with this are the vaccinated. In fact, the Ministry of Health reported that about 92% of people that were sick with COVID-19 in the hospitals were vaccinated. As a medical practitioner, how do you look at that and reconcile that against the integrity of the Ministry of Health?
Yeah, it's...
Isn't that?
No. No, it's just... You can just see through it when you see the actual facts in the hospital. And I think maybe it was perhaps supposed to be played out that way, you know. By then it was too late. Everyone had already been vaccinated on the previous facts. But when they then can see that hospitals are full of the vaccinated, it's too late then. They've already got the message out to get vaccinated.
Yeah, the boat sailed, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we've all got different people. You know, you got a tradie over there, a plumber's a plumber, mechanical engineer's a mechanical engineer, school teacher's a school teacher, a nurse is a nurse, a lawyer is a lawyer. Now, the reason why I mention a lawyer is that in a recent documentary by one of the media channels in New Zealand, we have the Dean of AUT, which is one of our Auckland-based universities, talk about and discuss the Nuremberg Code. The Nuremberg Code, of course, came into being around 1947. A codex that was created from which everyone on this planet, every individual human, was recognised as having inalienable protection and rights in respect to their body sovereignty because of the outrageous harm that had been caused to prisoners of the Third Reich. They were essentially, you know, pharmaceutical guinea pigs, and those same companies are operating today, by the way.
Yeah.
And the Nuremberg Code was designed to be an ethical foundation for anyone that's got their hands in the health world, in the medical world. In this recent documentary in New Zealand, we have a lawyer, the Dean of AUT's law school, come out and say it's rubbish that the Nuremberg Code has any authority in New Zealand. Now, technically she's correct because New Zealand supported it but didn't ratify it and put the principles of it into any legislation in New Zealand. So technically she's right there. But given that New Zealand is meant to support the principles of the Nuremberg Code, how does it make you feel as a medical practitioner whose life is dedicated to healing people and helping people that you get a lawyer who's suddenly on a big mainstream New Zealand government funded documentary telling everybody that, one, Nuremberg Code doesn't mean anything in New Zealand, and if it does mean anything, then only people that she deems appropriate can apply the principles of the Nuremberg Code, meaning that if you and I say we are applying the Nuremberg Code principles in our stance not to either make someone take something or we refuse something ourselves, and she's saying it's inappropriate for an individual to do that, it's inappropriate and even offensive, what do you think of a lawyer saying that?
That's just crazy. I didn't actually know any of that, so that's just mind-blowing. You just can't cherry pick information like that. It's dangerous.
The question she was asked is, does the Nuremberg Code have authority in New Zealand? She goes, absolutely not. So that's the first problem, because it may not be codified into legislation here in New Zealand, but certainly the ethics and principles of it should be something that every medical practitioner in New Zealand should apply themselves to. But she goes further to say that anyone talking about the Nuremberg Code in terms of our rights as an individual is being offensive and being inappropriate, because the last time it was called a crime against humanity or a crime against the Nuremberg Code, we were talking about the extermination of millions of Jewish people. But the greater principle of the Nuremberg Code is that it's for the individual. It's not a collectivism thing. You mean just as much as an individual to 50 individuals sitting there being offered to be a part of an experiment or to take medication. But what she's saying is no. Only people that she deems as appropriate should be able to apply those principles.
That's shocking.
Just recently we had our Prime Minister visit the United States, and at Harvard University she was talking about people who spread misinformation, keyboard warriors, people that don't agree with her. She described us as people that are unfamiliar with adequate hygiene practices, lone keyboard warriors who sit there in superhero costume that don't fit in a baggy and all the wrong places. A few months earlier to that, we had an MP, a Member of Parliament of the New Zealand House of Representatives, Michael Woods, called people that were protesting down in Wellington about COVID-19 harm. He called them all swimmers in the river of filth. How do do you feel about being described as that? Are you a nutter? Are you unstable? Do you have a Batgirl or Wonder Woman outfit at the back there?
No, not quite.
Not quite. And do you sit at home by yourself after the kids have gone to bed and sit there lonely in the dark sending the Prime Minister evil, nasty messages?
No, never.
You never. Okay. Well, I think that's because actually you're very stable. I think you're unbelievably ordinary in the best use of the word. I just want to say that on behalf of New Zealand and New Zealand that I'm a member of, welcome to Aotearoa New Zealand, welcome to our country. You and your beautiful family are welcome here, and we need you here, you and your skills. And I'm sorry that you had to encounter what you did. What are you doing now?
I'm actually working from home for another aged care facility. This was the job that saved me.
Wow.
So I, again, created my own role, and I ended up sending about 90 emails out all over New Zealand to see if anyone could offer me what I was asking for. And out of 90 emails, I got about 10 replies. 9 said no, good luck. 1 said just get vaccinated. And 1 said, yeah, we can make this work. And now I work covering 3 rest homes, 2 in Auckland and 1 on the South Island. Working from home around my beautiful children. So
Amen.
It's definitely actually worked out in my favour. What was one of the darkest times, I actually ended up quite depressed earlier this year, has just completely flip reversed, and yeah, we're loving life in New Zealand now.
You landed on your paws.
Yes.
How amazing is that? Praise God. Now, have you heard from your former employer? Because we know that the vaccine mandates have been relaxed and there's been some changes.
I didn't hear anything. We sent emails, phone calls. My husband rang him on the verge of tears in the beginning of all this, and he didn't say anything, just hung up the phone, didn't respond to emails. And then the day the mandates got lifted, I got a cheery phone call. Oh, hi, Lucy. Would you like to come and have your old job back? And I just laughed and said, no, thank you. I just thought, after everything you put me through, not a chance.
So there is such thing as justice.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.